Hi everyone. So, about a month ago, I uploaded a video titled What Happened at My PWI. And I was saying that I was going to update y'all as it progressed. And so much has happened since that video went out. Firstly, thank you to everyone who shared it and to everyone who showed it to their friends and who joined me after that. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch that one first before watching this one. Since then, I've met with my school's administration and I put together a team, another student, myself, and faculty and staff members. And we've come up with this program, and we are now called the Diversity and Inclusion Action Team. And we have roundtable discussions every week. We've already had our first one, and our program is called Engaging Equity. And at each program, we have a presentation in the beginning, and then we have table discussions, and we share at the end. And the purpose is to get the student body thinking about these issues and making our peers aware that these issues are actually prevalent on our campus. Because like I stated in the last video, I do attend a PWI, and a part of that privilege is not being aware that we face these kinds of issues. And just being a black woman in my class and being the only black woman in several of my classes, a lot of my peers are unaware. And I feel like it does no good to raise all this hell if you're not educating people. So the purpose of this program is to educate people. And then in the coming week, I'm going to be doing a campus-wide address with a faculty member, and he and I are going to talk about white privilege and the way that it affects minorities and majorities, and it's going to be great. It's been a lot of work, and I've been so busy with it, but it's for such a good purpose. And we're setting up an entire campaign for the 2019-2020 academic year, and we have a lot of things in store, and a lot of people are actually on board with this because prior to now, most of the school's administration had been unaware, and it kind of just wasn't on the radar. But that's going to be changing because after our first gathering, I could already tell that this happens way too often to not have some kind of protocol in place. So that's what we're working on. And just to address my first video, a lot of people were talking about how I was either in the wrong or I was overly sensitive. The professor was right, and I could look it up in the history book, but they were referring to the Ebonics part. In that video, I never said Ebonics didn't exist because it very well does. Ebonics, African American Vernacular English, all of that is very real. You can open a dictionary, you can find it. I said I didn't like those terms because I don't. I don't like them. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, and it does. However, that was not the point of the video. She said some very out of line, out of pocket kind of stuff, and I watered it down because I didn't even mention how she went into this whole spiel about what if the South had won the Civil War, and what would black people be doing then had the South won the Civil War. I didn't even go into any of that. So, listen, I know that there are three sides to every story, and there's mine, hers, the truth, and I get it. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And I know that there are going to be people who disagree with what I'm doing because I've already had some backlash. I've already had people come telling me that I don't need to be doing this, white people and black people. But it's my narrative, and I felt disrespected. I have peers who have been disrespected, and nothing was done about it. Something's going to be done about it because I'm not a roll with the punches kind of girl. A friend of mine told me that there are two kind of people in the world: those who are revolutionary and those who roll with the punches to survive. And I'm revolutionary because so many people had experienced this and nobody said anything. And it happened to me, and I was just like, no way. Because I am a freshman, and I'm going to be here until it's time for me to graduate. And I'm going to feel at home. I'm going to feel comfortable. I'm not going to leave and go somewhere else because this is where I chose to go to school. And I'm going to feel welcomed here. And people aren't going to agree with it. People aren't going to like it, but they will respect it. And they will respect me and my peers and people who look like me, because we have every right to be here just like anybody else. And I'm so grateful that I have more people that agree with me and support me as the people who don't, because the inner circle, the choir, the love, all of that is so much bigger than those who don't agree or those who don't want us here or whatever. But I'm glad that something is finally being done. And if you're one of those people who don't agree, then I hope that you're willing to learn and that you're willing to see the other side. Because that, we can work with that. Like I said, the purpose is to educate people. And it does no good to raise hell if you're not going to educate anybody. So if you're one of those who don't agree, which at our first event we had some, but they had the discussion, they listened to everybody's perspective, and then they were like, okay, I see where the issue is. Everybody isn't just stupid. Some people are ignorant. And that's okay, because we can work with ignorant. Can't work with stupidity or stubbornness or hatred or racism, but we can work with ignorance. And I would much rather believe that there are people in the world who are just ignorant and that are not hateful. And I want to believe that there are people who are just ignorant. So thank you all that watched the first video, that shared it, that supported it. Thank you to everybody who's supporting me, because it's a movement and I'm not stopping until I'm satisfied. Like I've been saying, I am not stopping until I'm satisfied. And I'm going to keep updating y'all as we move through this, because like I said, we're working on an entire campaign for the next academic year. I'm talking about hiring a person to handle these issues, going to the all faculty assembly before the new school year starts, and implementing a program for new students. There are so many things that I want to do that I know I can do now because there are people who support me. So we'll see. And if you're wondering about the professor or any of that, I don't know what's going to happen with her, because that information is private and it was not shared with me, but I was assured that there is something being done, and the people that I'm working with, I believe that they're honest people and they would not lie to me about that. So if they say something is being done, then I trust something is done. I did get out of that class and I transferred to another section, but then I got into another section and had another problem with that professor. So now I'm just not in public speaking this semester, which is fine. I can take it another time. But I'm out of the class. It's fine. Like, I didn't get in trouble. Nobody came at me for making the videos, nothing like that. But as far as the professor and whatever sanction she's going to get, I do not know, because that information was kept private, as it should be, because that's her private life. And even though I felt disrespected, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect her, which is why I didn't release any names. I didn't release any serious details. So I have no idea, but I was assured that it's going to be handled. So it's just up from here. And the campaign starts now.